Welcome to Simply Explained English. I am Lisa.
And I'm Eric. Do you want to improve your English easily? If so, you're in the right place.
Okay, today we'll listen to a podcast about some of the wrongs of learning English.
Let's listen to it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. I'm Mark.
And I'm Rosa. Today we're talking about some common wrong ideas about learning English. Many myths and some wrong ideas can make it seem harder than it is. In this episode, we'll look at some of these wrong ideas and tell you the truth.
Let's start with a big one. How often do you hear, "I'm just not good at languages"? People think some have a language gene.
Too often. They think you're either born with a talent or you'll always struggle.
Exactly. But learning English isn't about a special gene. It's about being consistent, practicing, and using good methods. It takes time and effort.
Good point. No one plays guitar like a pro right away. Practice is needed. Same with languages. It's not magic, it's work.
So don't worry about a gene. With effort and practice, anyone can improve. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither is English fluency.
Another common myth is, you must live in an English-speaking country to be fluent. What do you think, Mark?
Yeah, it helps. For sure. You're surrounded by English, which is great, but it's not essential. The internet changes everything. We have so many online resources now: movies, podcasts, books, and chatting with people online, all from home.
Exactly. Immersion is key, but you can make your English environment anywhere. Make English part of your day. And even in an English-speaking country, you still need to practice actively. Just being there isn't enough. Okay, well, let's talk about grammar. Some learners think grammar rules are the most important thing.
Yes, many students spend hours on grammar exercises and then feel nervous about speaking. The truth is, practicing speaking helps you use grammar naturally. If you only study grammar, you might not learn how to express yourself.
Totally agree. It is important to balance grammar study with speaking practice. Try to use new grammar rules when you talk with friends or join a conversation group.
By practicing both, you will improve faster and feel more confident.
Here's another wrong idea. You have to start learning English as a child. Is that true, Mark?
It's not entirely true. Indeed, children often pick up pronunciation more easily. Kids can get a more native-like accent, but adults have advantages too.
Definitely. Adults have more life experience and they know how they learn best. They can be very focused and organized in their learning. Many adults successfully become fluent in English, even if they start later in life. It's all about the right approach and dedication.
So, don't worry if you didn't start learning English as a child. It's absolutely possible to achieve fluency as an adult.
So, what about accents? Some say focusing on accent is a waste of time. What is your idea, Mark?
Accents are interesting. A strong accent isn't bad, but pronunciation is important. If it's unclear, people won't understand you. You cannot continue the conversation.
Exactly. No need for a perfect accent, but aim for clear pronunciation. People should understand you easily. So only focusing on accent is too much, but ignoring pronunciation is bad. Being understood is most important.
Let's talk about vocabulary. Many learners think they must memorize long word lists. Is that the best way, Rosa?
Making lists seems helpful, but just memorizing them? It's boring and not very effective long-term.
Exactly. Learning words in context is much better. When you see words in sentences, stories, or videos, you see how they're used.
Yes, learn vocabulary from reading, movies, or podcasts. It's more fun and helps you remember better.
And use new words when you speak or write. Using them in conversation helps them stick. Active use is key. So instead of just lists, try reading, watching, and using new words. More fun and effective.
Right, Mark. Okay, Well, here's another myth that stops many learners. You should never make mistakes.
Oh yes, that fear of mistakes is huge, but the truth is, mistakes are a totally normal part of learning anything, especially a language.
Absolutely. Think about babies learning to walk. They fall down all the time, but they get up and try again. It's the same with language learning.
Exactly. If you're afraid to make mistakes, you might not speak at all, and then you won't practice and improve. Fear of mistakes actually holds people back. Make mistakes, learn from them, and keep going.
Another wrong. TV and movies are just fun, not for learning English. Some think it's not a serious study.
Definitely not true. Watching TV and movies is effective and fun for improving English. It's learning and entertainment.
You hear natural English, see real conversations, and learn about culture. Great for listening and vocabulary.
But be active, not just passive. Use subtitles, repeat lines, and note new words.
Yes, active listening is key. Choose content at your level. Start easy, then try harder shows as you improve. They're a great way to learn English if you're active about it.
Now, here's a myth that can be confusing. Some people are always searching for the perfect way to learn English. They want to find the method that works for everyone.
Yes, it's like they think there's a secret formula or a magic trick to learning English quickly and easily. But does such a perfect method really exist, Mark?
No, not really. The truth is, every learner is different. What works perfectly for one person might not work at all for another. We all have different learning styles.
Exactly. Some people learn best by reading, others by listening, and some by speaking. Some like studying in the morning, others at night. There's no one-size-fits-all approach.
So instead of searching for the perfect method, try different things. Different apps, different types of lessons. See what you enjoy and what helps you learn best. Finding what works for you is the key. There's no single perfect way, just the best way for you.
Another misleading myth. Become fluent in English in a few months. Sounds great, but realistic, Mark.
Very tempting. Everyone wants fast fluency. You can make quick progress at first. But true fluency, that takes longer. Language learning is a journey, not a sprint. It needs consistent effort over time. Rapid progress is possible, and you improve fast initially, but fluency is achievable and a long-term goal. Set realistic goals. Focus on consistent learning and celebrate progress.
Okay, let's talk practice partners. Some think you must practice with native speakers to improve. Is that the only way, Mark?
Native speakers are helpful. You learn natural talk, pronunciation, and informal language, but not the only way. There are other practice options exist.
Exactly. Practicing with non-native learners is also good. Less pressure, learn from each other's mistakes. You're all learning together. And non-natives can sometimes explain grammar easier because they learned it too.
So, native speakers are great, but don't feel limited. Practice with anyone. The goal is to communicate and get confident.
Another myth. Study hours daily to improve. Necessary, Mark?
Long study hours sound good, but not always effective. You get tired and lose focus studying too long. Short, focused sessions are better than long, tiring ones. Quality over quantity.
Exactly. Integrate English into your day. Podcasts while commuting, articles at lunch. Come up with short, regular activities.
Make it a habit, even 15 to 20 minutes daily. Regular, short practice is more sustainable and effective. Okay, well, we've discussed many English learning myths today. We hope we showed you they can hold you back.
Remember, English learning is for everyone. Stay motivated, keep learning, and don't let myths stop you.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. Happy learning.
Bye-bye.
Hey Lisa, what did you think of the podcast?
I really enjoyed it. I liked the idea that you don't have to live in an English-speaking country to learn was so refreshing.
Absolutely. It's all about integrating English into our daily routines.
Definitely. All right, let's start our podcast. What are the words today, Eric?
The first word today is tempting. Then we will continue with rapid and to ignore. Then come up with and. The final one is Rome wasn't built in a day.
Let's start with the first word.
The first word is tempting.
Tempting.
Tempting is an adjective, and it describes something that looks or sounds very good, so you really want it.
Yes. It's used when you feel a strong desire to do something, even if maybe you shouldn't.
Let's start with a simple example. That chocolate cake looks so tempting.
It means the chocolate cake looks really delicious, and I really want to eat it.
Exactly. We often use tempting to talk about food, shopping, or even making decisions.
Right. Here's another example. It's tempting to stay in bed all day, but I have work to do. This means I really want to stay in bed, but I know I shouldn't because I have responsibilities. So we use tempting when something is hard to resist.
Good example, Lisa. Let's try a few more. What do you think of this, Lisa? The sale at the mall is very tempting, but I need to save money.
So I really want to buy something, but I know I should save. Is tempting formal, Eric?
Tempting is neutral. It's good for daily conversation, but you can also use it in formal situations. For example, in a business meeting, you could say, "The offer is tempting, but we need to discuss it further."
Good example, Eric. Okay, well, that's it for the word tempting. Now, let's move on to our next word.
The next word is rapid.
Rapid.
So, rapid is an adjective, and it basically means fast or something that happens really quickly.
Yes, like when something moves or changes really fast.
Okay, let's try a simple example. How about the company has seen rapid growth this year?
Got it. So it's like saying the company is growing really fast.
Yep, exactly. We often use rapid for stuff like changes, progress, or movement.
Okay, here's another one. He made a rapid recovery after the illness. That just means he got better quickly.
Right, so rapid is an adjective, so it comes before a noun, like rapid change or rapid progress. But if you want to say how something happens quickly, you use rapidly, like she learned rapidly. That means she learned really quickly.
Another example. The weather changed rapidly. So the weather changed really fast.
Rapid is a little more formal than fast, I'd say. So you'll see it more in news, reports, or like business talk.
Okay, cool. I think everyone gets rapid now. Ready for the next word?
Yes, let's do it. The next word is to ignore.
To ignore.
To ignore means to not pay attention to something or someone. If you ignore someone, you act like they are not there. For example, if I say, "She ignored my message," it means she didn't answer me or didn't read it.
I see. So if I'm talking to my friend and he looks at his phone the whole time, I can say, he is ignoring me.
Yes, that's a great example. We often use ignore when we talk about people not listening, not answering, or pretending they don't see something.
Right. But can we also ignore things, not just people?
Good question. Yes, you can. For example, if there's a loud noise outside, but you continue reading your book, you are ignoring the noise.
So it means you choose not to notice it. Like, I ignored the email because I was busy.
Yes, and here's one more thing. Sometimes ignoring something is rude, but other times it might be a good thing.
Oh, really?
Yes, if someone says something mean to you, it's better to ignore them instead of arguing.
Ah, so ignoring can help you stay calm.
Exactly. Okay, this is the last example of to ignore. Tom saw his friend in the street, but he ignored him and walked away. This means that Tom saw his friend but acted like he didn't see him.
Got it. Okay, I think our followers understand it better now. Let's move on to the next word.
The next word is come up with.
Come up with.
Come up with is a phrasal verb that means to think of an idea, plan, or solution.
Oh, so if I have to write a story, I need to come up with a good idea first?
Exactly. We often use come up with when talking about ideas, plans, or even excuses.
Nice. Can we also come up with solutions to problems?
Yes. For example, our team needs to come up with a way to save money. It means the team needs to find a new way to save money.
So if my friend and I want to start a business, we need to come up with a business plan.
Yes, you got it. You need to find a business plan, and we can use come up with in both formal and informal situations.
Great. But what's the grammar?
Come up with is always followed by a noun. Like, she came up with a great idea. They came up with a new app.
Oh, so I can't say, she came up with quickly?
Exactly. We need a thing after come up with. You should have said, she came up with a way quickly.
Got it. This phrasal verb is really useful and common in business and informal English. Okay, well, we've reached the last word today. What is the last word, Eric?
The last word is Rome wasn't built in a day.
Rome wasn't built in a day.
Rome wasn't built in a day is an idiom. It means that important things take time. You can't expect to achieve big results quickly.
Oh, I love this one. You can't rush success.
Exactly. When we say Rome wasn't built in a day, we mean that big achievements need patience and effort. You won't learn English in just one day, but if you practice a little every day, you will improve.
Great example, Eric. Imagine you're learning to play the guitar. At first, it's really difficult and you can't play any songs. But if you keep practicing little by little, you'll get better. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Perfect. Or let's say you're trying to get fit. You go to the gym for one day, but you don't see any big changes. Should you stop? No. Keep going, because Rome wasn't built in a day.
So, keep this phrase in mind whenever you feel like giving up. Success takes time.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about the formality of this phrase. It's common in both casual and formal situations, but it's most often used in everyday conversations.
Yes. You can say it to a friend, a coworker, or even to yourself when you feel impatient.
Exactly, Lisa. It's a very common and useful idiom in English.
Okay, well, that's it for today's episode of Simply Explained English. We hope you found the words helpful and the explanations easy to understand.
Thanks for listening. Keep studying your English.
And stay tuned. Bye for now.